It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. First thing I'd like to do is send my love to Jay, Kevin, Rue, and let's see, the fourth member of this quartet. Oh, goodness, I need a hint. For the name of the second kitty. Okay, let us take a gander at the latest iteration of All Good Ones Easy Meditation. The view of reality that supports letting go is the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, known by many names, including Mahayoga's Wisdom Warm-Up. Together as a team, let us chant an explanation of the 12-syllable mantra. Teddy Ruxpin, how could I forget? I invoke teachers on loving action, on mindfulness and meditation, as well as the Hungview supporting release at the Benza Tantric. Guru teachers pray my enlightenment and siddhi abilities who may be mastered by all. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with all follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these wise words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors or similes. Let us keep track of the first of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions by gently touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left little finger, and then resting this left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. We consider the first word may. This is not a supplication to imaginary entities, but rather us using words to guide our own intention. The Buddha was fond of organizing all that could be perceived in terms of the 4 bases of mindfulness: the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. We begin tonight with circumstances, whose monosyllabic synonym are lots. Together. May we see how all circumstances are lots appearing yet void, as a paradise of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. We're going to take all these words and allow them to coalesce into just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We now, during our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite all these 6 syllables. I said words, but I should have said syllables. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath for 4 breaths. Here's a quick pro tip. We can count 1 breath per finger, and we can count 1 mantra per set of creases. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Teddy Chan. Is that a reference to something from geek culture that I can't not recall right now, Kevin? Let us keep track of our second of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions by touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left ring finger and resting our left hand upon our left thigh. May we feel how all bodies are from sensual yet void. As a Buddha's archetype of light could be as impermanent and interdependent. As if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communicational speech. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Okay, I'm going to tap button 8. Let's see what Kevin wrote. I picked him up, from Asian films. When they say someone's name, they say Chan or Cha after. Oh, I did not know that. When Teddy has the zoomies, does he look like a kung fu master? Ooh, here's a better question. Have you seen Kung Fu Hustle? Let us keep track of our third of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions by gently touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of its left middle finger and resting our left hand upon our left thigh. May we hear how all interpersonal speech resounding yet void. As a mantra of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 Om Ahum maziri hung. Om ahung benzo guru me 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 maziri hung. So yes, Kung Fu Hustle is a cinematic masterpiece. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. Yeah, but that baker could kick some ass, couldn't he? Let's see here. I want to tap button 9. And by the way, I do suspect that landlady was ignorant that in ancient Greece there was an entire, I'm going to use the word term, regimen of fighters who were homosexuals, and they went out to battle with their partners. And it was observed that they fought harder than any other regimen of fighters. So take that. To keep track of our 4th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left hand to the tip of our left index finger, then rest this left hand upon our left thigh. Together. May we feel how all minds lucid yet void, as a seed hung of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into a rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be non-graspable to the hand. Om ahum benzo guru me maziri hung. 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 So, quick like a bunny, I shall tap button 8 and see what Kevin wrote. Here we go. Sasha Shante. Once again, I need help clarifying that reference. Tell me the gospel of Sasha Shante, if you please. We will turn to the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, described as Hatha Yoga's mindfulness and meditation, after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. You know what? I think this is an editing opportunity. I think what I'll do is remove the highlight. Come on now, Mrs. Kavit. I shall remove the highlight and do something fun, or try to do something fun. Let's see here. Let's go to home and let's hit this and let's hit outline and let's hit okay. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Whoops, let's try this again. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you will not have to. Welcome, my friends, to meditate like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Okay, quick like a penny. I'm going to tap button 8 and see what's up with Mr. Kevin. I should be Sachet Chante. Or, okay. It should be I mean. I'm not sure what that means. You've lost me, sir. But I'm sure it was brilliant. So let's continue. Let us now turn our attention to the first phase of mindful crease counting. The luxury car of mindfulness and meditation traverses the smooth road afforded to us by Anu Yoga's energy work. There are many flavors of energy work. I feel that mudra or finger gesture oriented energy work is the most efficient. Whoops, excuse me. That's right, kids. All class, all the time. So this is our first of 4 collections of our right hands, where we're going to use our right hand's 8 repetitions and our left hand's 8 sets to collect 64. So let's explore how that works. Over the span of 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly, always beginning with the little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we're clever, we can multiply that by 8 using our left hand. Not to count reps, but to count sets of reps. 1 set of 8 reps. 2, 3, 4 sets of 8 reps. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 reps. I didn't know he had a single. Look at how unsophisticated I am, Kevin. So, let's continue. Let's see. I'm going to tap button 9. And, oopsie, I guess I'm going back to 4 to remind you that we're going to keep track of this first of 4 collections by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap, thus inviting our subtle energies to coalesce at the crown wheel of our head. So what if enlightenment was nothing other than mastery of Gautama Buddha's Eightfold Path? But what do we mean by mastery? No child is born knowing how to use a toilet or a toothbrush or tie their shoes or ride a bike. But most children, by the time they enter first grade, are so good at those things that they're able to practice them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. That is what we mean by mastery. And we can master the Buddha's Eightfold Path simply by practicing mindfulness and meditation, and hopefully, which are the seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. And hopefully by the end of this night's lesson, you'll see how the simple practice of mindfulness and meditation gives birth to the remaining six folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Please chant with me. The nudity of the archetypical couple sporting in tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to mindfulness. And now let us turn our attention to the neuroscience of mindfulness and meditation. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. That 90% it reminds us of the Buddha's foolish cousin Devadatta, who thought it would be splendid to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, instead of being like his cousin Gautama, who chose to master the path of being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. So when these rigid people get their hands on students, they waste no time imploring those students to practice focus and analysis. Now, the only parts of our brain capable of performing focus and analysis are the discrete neural pathways found in regions such as the medial prefrontal cortex or the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Overwork these areas and we will trigger our amygdala, which is the seat of anxiety and aggression. Fortunately, neither the prefrontal cortex nor the amygdala constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Let us begin with mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we automatically access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us notice in a very special way, to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But what is it we are to notice? We're to notice mind's antics of perception. You know, sight, sound, sensation, flavor, scent, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Now, this is a whole armful of stuff, and it seems a little overwhelming. Fortunately, we can practice this automatically, simply by silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, thus inducing our brain to stop interfering with the sympathetic nervous system and start cooperating with it, which is pretty cool. Well, what are we to do with all this stuff that we notice? That brings us or takes us to meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access our parasympathetic nervous system divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release, causing what we perceived during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel less solid, less permanent, and even less defining. to the point that what we perceive during our previous inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. And this brings us to the first way, or the first benefit of training in mindfulness and meditation. The more we train mindfulness and meditation, the more that which we perceive during our previous inhalation is released. The more we viscerally experience literal impermanence and figurative emptiness. Whoopsie. Let's practice. That sounds great, Kevin. I eagerly await the video. We come now to the second phase, the second of 4 phases of mindful crease counting. So if anybody's just tuned in, allow me to remind you how this works. Over the span of 4 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb as follows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can multiply that by 8 for a total of 64 using our left hand. Not to count repetitions, but to count sets. So using our thumb, we could advance our left thumb thusly. 1 set of 8 repetitions. 2, 3, 4 sets of 8 repetitions. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 repetitions. Now I've mentioned this is our second collection of 64 repetitions. We keep track of that by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap, palms up. Thus inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. The translucence of the all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings reminds us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. So, the most efficient way to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice the antics of mind is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The most efficient way of relaxing into mind's impermanent and non-graspable nature is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Come, let us do this together as a team right now. One of the fringe benefits of regularly playing with mindfulness and meditation, perhaps once every 12 hours, is that it can calm our amygdala's anxiety and aggression, which can help us steer away from cruel intentions, cruel communications, cruel conduct, or the cruel commerce of being a Chad or a Karen. I should say the competitive or cruel tendencies reflected in commerce. That would have been better. Come, let us turn now to our third of 4 phases of mindful crease counting. Over the span of 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly, beginning with the little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could multiply that by 8 using our left hand. Advancing our left thumb, 1 set of 8 repetitions. 2, 3, 4 sets of 8 repetitions. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 repetitions. Un momento. We keep track of this, our third collection of 64 repetitions, by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Please chant with me. The beauty of sky blue kuntu zong po and cloud white kuntu zong mo yam yum reminds us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. You see, the more we practice mindfulness and meditation, the more we stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus. The seat, let's rephrase that, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, which is also the root of compassion and love. This is why it can be said that our intention, our communication, our conduct, and the way we do commerce is an excellent barometer of our spiritual practice. If we are cruel, then in the words of Bugs Bunny, we've taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque. If we are kind, regardless of our mood, we're still kind, then we know that our practice is stimulating the correct part of our brain. So together as a team, let's meditate. Oh, derp? There, that's much prettier. We come to the fourth and final phase of mindful crease counting. Over the span of the next 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly, always beginning with little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can multiply that by 8 using our left hand. 1 set of 8 repetitions, 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets of 8 repetitions, 5 sets, 6 sets, 7 sets, 8 sets of 8 repetitions for a total of 64. At least that's what they taught me in 2nd grade. We could keep track of this 4th collection of 64 repetitions by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger in our lap, palms up, thus inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Oh, won't you please chant with me? Un momento. The stability with which God loose among the mandra sits, and the abandon with which cloud winds among the mandri sports, reminds us of effortless effort-centered spontaneity. Allow me to remind you that the most efficient way to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. Similarly, the most efficient way to relax into mind's empty nature is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Make a habit of this. Practice this at least once every 12 hours every day. And before long, you will find that your choices, utterances, and deeds are flowing from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. Not scattered spontaneity, but centered spontaneity. This is the 6th fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. So together as a team, let us meditate together. Let us meditate right now. We now switch gears from silent meditation to mantra meditation. As an introduction, let us chant an explanation of the 12-syllable mantra. I invoke teachers on loving action, non-mindfulness, and meditation, as well as the Hung view supporting release that the Benza-tantric. Guru teaches Pema enlightenment and siddhi abilities who may be mastered by all. During our inhalation, silently and mentally, we can recite relaxing into this. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. If this is your first time hanging out with me or hanging out with me, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Here's a quick pro tip. You can count 1 breath per finger, and you can count 1 repetition per set of creases, if you so desire. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. So at this point, we've already played with Mahayoga's wisdom warm-up. We've played with Anu Yoga's energy work, as well as Mahayoga's mindfulness and meditation. And now we're going to close this evening's sessions with Mahayoga's compassionate cool down. There we go. Okay, welcome aboard. The moment you have any questions about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, please type your question in great detail. I will be happy to answer your question. We now turn our attention to mantra-oriented loving kindness. Please chant with me. Rather than endotro controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors for statements literal, and relax into the flexibilities that save us the chance explaining metaphors as similes. To keep track of our 6th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could gently touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left little finger, and then rest this left hand upon its left thigh. thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. May we be a font of blessing for all upon who we think or who think of us. Together. May all minds of all beings know be as peacefully enlightened as the lucid yet void mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a Jigme one syllable seed or bija mantra. So what we're going to do is take all these words and coalesce them down to just 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. We're now going to play, during our inhalation, we're going to silently and mentally recite these same 6 syllables. And during our exhalation, we're going to physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath for 4 breaths. Now, if this is your first time hanging out with me or hanging out with me, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. However, here's a quick pro tip. You could count 1 breath per finger, and if you wanted to, once you're comfortable with the mantra, you can count 1 repetition of the mantra per set of creases. Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hung. Allow me to remind you that the mental morality of kind intention is the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. We can now keep track of our 7th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions by gently touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left ring finger, and then resting this left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. May we be a font of blessing for all who we listen to, speak to, or speak of, and for all who listen to us, or speak to us, or speak of us. Together. May all relationships, all speech of all beings know me as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech resounding in void symbolized by a multisyllabic mantra. We take all these words and coalesce them down to just 6 syllables. Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hung 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 Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. The interpersonal morality of kind communication is the third fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. We come now to the 8th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, which we could keep track of by gently touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left middle finger, and then resting this left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. May we be a font of blessing for all who we touch or who touch us. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha's statuary, depicting the blissful body, sensual yet void of a real or imagined yet dominant type of enlightenment. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 We come to the 9th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions. We keep track of it by touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left index finger and then resting this left hand upon our left thigh. Doing so gently invites our subtle energies to coalesce at the crown of our head. May we be a font of blessing for all who we see or who see us. Anybody who watches the news cannot help but fill with compassion. With the compassionate longing that all beings everywhere be freed from the tyranny of sexism and racism and homophobia and Islamophobia and transphobia and classism and exploitation and fascism and jingoism and genocide. According to the UN, there are 20 genocides going on right now. Please chant with me. May all circumstances, all lots of all beings now have the safe fortune or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or vanti appearing yet void. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om Ahum Benzu Guru Me Masiri Hung 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 Om Ahum Benzu Guru Me Masiri Hung. The circumstantial morality of kind commerce is the fifth fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. Oh, my fellow geeks, do not panic, for the meaning of life, the universe, and everything is 42. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.